Live from Pheno Field here in Milford, My FM 101.3 is happy to bring you coverage of Milford Legion baseball. Good evening, everybody. Tim Coet here on the call as we get set to bring you the 2018 home opener for Milford Post 59. They return back here to Pheno Field for the first time, getting set to take on a rival from Zone 4 in Northborough Post 234. Milford at 1-0 on the season. They got this 2018 season started just about 24 hours ago on the road, taking on North County Post 129 yesterday. And Milford bringing the bats out early. They actually took a very patient approach at the plate through the early innings. They ended up walking 5 times through the early innings. They ended up walking 11 times in the game, but when they had the chance to swing the bat, they swung it with authority. A series of extra base hits, a triple for Aiden Wild, RBI doubles up and down the lineup, and it ended up translating into a 13-7 win. Milford actually took a 13-1 lead into the bottom half of the 7th inning, but North County able to generate some late offense, but still a big victory for Post 59. So a great start for the offense, and also in particular an outstanding performance on the pitcher's mound in the first game of the year for second-year returner Alex Gunfriday. He was excellent all night long, was in full control, mixing in his knuckleball to keep the North County bats off balance, and ended up allowing just a single run, scattering 6 hits through 6 innings of work. He did not walk a batter and struck out 6, earning his first victory in the team's first game of the season. So Milford will look to make it 2 in a row here this evening as they take on Northborough Post 234, who currently sits atop the Zone 4 standings. They have gotten off to a very good start to the year, a perfect 3-0 record with some impressive victories out of the chute against Cherry Valley, Eastside, and most recently, just last night, a 6-5 victory on the road up at Bowditch Field, taking on Framingham Post 74. So a good matchup here against 2 teams off to good starts on the season. First for the visitors, that is Northborough Post 234. Leading it off is their catcher, Nate Anderson. The shortstop, Sam Forbush, bats second, with Dylan Connors, the starting pitcher, batting third. Max Morehart bats cleanup and plays left field, with Jack Choate, the first baseman, batting fifth. Batting sixth and playing third base is Drew Courtwright, with Ryan Courtwright in its second base, batting seventh. Batting eighth is the right fielder, Ben Poon, with the number 9 hitter, Owen Kadri, playing center field. And for Milford Post 59, a very similar looking lineup to what we saw in Game 1 yesterday. Leading it off is the center fielder, Sean Ribello. Tommy Ambrosoni bats second and plays right field, with Aiden Wild in at third base, batting third. Sam Parker is the first baseman, batting cleanup, with Alex Reynolds in as the designated hitter, batting fifth. Batting sixth and catching is Tyler Almeida, with the shortstop, Matt Shaver, batting seventh. Jacob Beater gets the start tonight, batting eighth, playing left field, and in the 9th spot, playing second base, is Chris Brunt. And your pitching matchup in this game, it will be Jonathan Rice on the mound for Milford Post 59. He will be opposed on the Northborough side by number 19, Dylan Connors. So back inside Pheno Field, time to get this game started. Milford Post 59 taking on Northborough Post 234. I am Tim Coet, happy to have you with us once again for our season-long coverage of Milford Legion baseball here on My FM 101.3. And very comfortable conditions as we get this game started. Bright blue skies overhead as the sun starts to set off in the distance. 66 degrees here at game time. It's been a bit unseasonably chilly at game time for these last 2 days. It was a very brisk evening up in Gardner yesterday with a stiff breeze blowing. A little bit more comfortable here, a calm breeze here at Pheno Field. So all in all, very nice conditions. It's going to start to heat up over the weekend, and we're eventually going to touch 90 degrees on Monday. So we'll certainly take the comfortable conditions while we can get them. But baseball about to get started here at Pheno Field for the first time in 2018. Jonathan Rice concluding his warm-up tosses, getting the start in the home opener, and standing in to take the first at bat for Northborough Post 234 is their catcher, Nate Anderson. Milford was able to sweep the season series against Northborough last year, but this is a team that typically plays Milford very tough under the direction of their head coach, Ken McDonald. And the home plate umpire signaling it is time to play ball, and the lefty Jonathan Rice into his windup. The first pitch of the game is hit on the ground to shortstop, played by Matt Shaver, and a good throw to first base. Jonathan Rice needs just 1 pitch to record the first out of the ball game. Defensively for Post 59, it is Tyler Almeida behind the plate, Aiden Wild at third, Matt Shaver at short, Chris Brunt at second, and Sam Parker at first. Left to right in the outfield, Jacob Beater, Sean Ribello, and Tommy Ambrosoni. 1 out and the base is empty now for the shortstop, Sam Forbush. in on the right side against the lefty starter, and he takes a called strike one. Rice back into his windup, and the pitch is hit right back up the middle. It glances off the foot of Rice, travels towards the first base side of the pitcher's mound, but a wild throw from Rice is going to drift to the edge of the field to play. Will it stay on? And it ends up going completely off the playing surface, and down to second base goes Forbush.
Now batting number 19.
That one hit on the ground right back up the middle, took a bounce off of the left foot of Jonathan Rice, drifted about maybe 5 feet away from the pitcher's mound towards the first base side. Rice had plenty of time to field, but he threw wildly to first base. And so an error on the pitcher allows Northborough their first base runner. And now Dylan Connors, the starting pitcher for Northborough, stands in, takes a pitch up and away for ball one. Lurking on deck, the big bat in this Northborough lineup, Max Morhart. More on him in a moment. And now a 2-ball, no-strike count. A couple of fastballs not close to Connors. Yes. Rice now operates out of the stretch with the runner at second base. And the next pitch from the lefty is sent in the air foul off to the right and out of play. And drifts off just to the right of the Pheno Field concession stand. Plenty of fans in the pavilion area in front of the concession stand taking in this game. Good amount of fans wrapped around the stands behind home plate. Milford community happy to see Legion baseball returning for this 2018 season. Here's a 2-1 pitch. This one sent foul just over the backstop. And the count will even now at 2-2. Forbush walking out to a lead at second base. Brunt creeping in, trying to keep him close. Now steps back to his defensive position as an ugly swing from Dylan Connors sends the ball just foul over towards the first base dugout. Kind of a half swing out of Connors. He ended up making contact, rolling it over towards the Milford dugout. And still a 2-2 count. As Rice leans in for the sign, now comes to the set. His next pitch is a line drive out to the gap in left center field. That lands for a base hit. Around from third base comes Forbush. The throw in comes to the center of the diamond as Forbush will score. A hard hit ball into the left center gap from Connors. So after an ugly half swing, he's able to come back to put a very good swing on the baseball and give Northborough an early 1-0 lead. So the error immediately comes back to hurt Jonathan Rice. And a runner on now for Max Morhart. And takes a fastball very high for ball one. Morhart has been an integral part of this good start to the season for Post 234. He had 4 hits and 4 runs batted in, including a home run in the team's 9-5 win over Eastside back on June 13th. And just last night, he ended up driving in the winning runs. A 2-run single in the late innings provided the game-winning runs for Post 234 in a victory over Framingham. So Morhart's been all over this hot start for Post 234. Sends a foul ball off towards the Northborough on deck circle. He falls behind in the count, 1-2. Connors being held on by Sam Parker over at first base. Rice to the set. And his 1-2 pitch is sent foul and out of play. The lights are on here at Pheno Field, but no need for them quite yet. Still plenty of sunshine. Some of the longest days of the year here coming up in this next week. The runner takes off at first base as the pitch is grounded weakly back towards the pitcher's mound. Rice has it. Another chance to fire to first base. His throw is accurate this time to retire Morehart on the 1-3 ground out on the play. Dylan Connors able to advance to second base. So 2 outs now, a runner in scoring position ahead of Jack Choate. Choate, an imposing figure in the left side batter's box. Lefty versus lefty matchup. The first pitch of the at-bat in from Rice. Buzzes a little bit too far inside. Not missing by much. Connors now out to a lead at second base as Rice fires in, and that is a called strike 1. Milford never trailed in the game yesterday. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the top of the first inning and never looked back. But trailing 1-0 here, hoping the deficit stays right there and Rice can shut down this inning, holding that runner at second base. 1 ball and 1 strike the count on Choate. Here's the pitch, and that is inside. So the command a little erratic for Jonathan Rice so far in this first inning. And now fires in this time. That one misses a little bit high, maybe a little bit outside, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. The number 6 hitter, Drew Courtright, waits on deck. And the 3-1 pitch is a swing and a miss. Rice able to get a fastball past the bat of Choate, and now the count runs full. With 2 down in the top of the first inning. Rice ready. Here is the payoff pitch, and it's popped up on the infield. Playable for the shortstop Shaver, who now drifts onto the left field grass and can't hold on to it. And around to score comes Connors. And that will make it 2-0. It ended up being a tougher play in the end than it initially looked. It seemed like it was going to be a harmless pop-up on the infield, but that kept drifting out towards the left field grass. Shaver tracking it, but ultimately could not make the play. So judgment call there will award Choate the single in our scorebook. As always, we'll check in with the official team scoring after the game. A called strike 1 now issued to Drew Courtright. So an early 2-0 deficit for post 59. And Rice pitching with a little anger now has gotten 2 strikes past the bat of Courtright. Back-to-back Courtright's in the Northborough lineup. Drew up now, Ryan Courtright on deck. And the 0-2 pitch just barely misses on the outside part of the plate. The Milford fans hoping to see the strike 3 call. Instead, the count goes to 1-2. Fair amount of pitches thrown for Rice here in this top of the first inning. His next one gets past the bat of Courtright for strike 3. So there's the first strikeout for Rice. And it will end this top of the first inning, but not before Northborough Post 234 sends a message. They get 2 runs in the top of the first inning to take a 2-0 lead on Milford. The Post 59 bats will take their first swings of the game when we come back next here on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on MyFM 101.3. Well, Milford facing an early deficit in this game, a 2-0 score as Milford comes to the plate in the bottom half of the first inning. Dylan Connors helped give his team the lead with an RBI single in the top of the first and now takes the mound. The righty will face Sean Rebello, Tommy Ambrosoni, and Aiden Wild. Right-handed swinging Sean Rebello digs in once again atop the Milford lineup. It takes a fastball on the outside part of the plate for a called strike one. The next pitch in for a called strike two. Connors, bit of a sidearm delivery. Also a quick worker, immediately back to the set position, and his 0-2 pitch. And that one narrowly misses the outside part of the plate, working the outside corner consistently against Rebello. Now the 1-2 offering, that one misses further outside. No chase from Rebello, so he's worked it back to even. Rebello a good day yesterday against North County, a couple of hits. Now sends one on the ground towards first base, a bobble, and no chance in the end to get Rebello at first base. Jack Choate could not secure that one in the glove. By the time he was able to pick it up, no chance to travel to the first base bag to get Rebello. So Sean will reach on the E3. And Milford immediately brings the tying run to the plate as Tommy Ambrosoni digs in on the left side. Batting out of the number 2 spot for the second straight game. Playing in the second game of his post-59 career. Takes the first pitch for strike one. Ambrosoni in the game yesterday drove in a run with an infield single in the 6th inning. Also reached base on a walk and a hit by pitch, and was credited with a sacrifice bunt. So had an effective day, as did most of these Milford hitters. Team that can sometimes start the season off slow. Wasted no time generating runs yesterday. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Ambrosoni. Rebello takes off. The pitch misses inside. Oh, a late strike called by the home plate umpire to bring the count to 1-2, but no throw down to second base. An uncontested steal for Rebello. And how about that? That's already steal number 4 for Sean Rebello. He had 3 steals in the game yesterday. Now the 1-2 pitch to Ambrosoni is fouled to the backstop. Aiden Wild on deck, waiting to take his first at bat tonight. Connors ready on the pitcher's mound. Here's his 1-2 pitch. He misses away. Two balls and 2 strikes, nobody out, and a runner in scoring position for post 59. The next pitch, and that misses for ball 3. A full count to Ambrosoni. Here's the payoff, and it misses outside for ball 4. So an error and now the walk. And the tying runs are aboard for post 59 ahead of Aiden Wild. Aiden Wild hit the ball hard a couple of times in the game yesterday. He ended up with just 1 hit to show for it. He tripled in the 3rd inning against North County yesterday. Was also robbed of a hit on a scorching line drive that was caught at shortstop by Austin English, who had a number of nice defensive plays for North County yesterday. We awarded him our Easy Way Car Wash Diamond Play of the game. Here's the first pitch into Wild, and it's hit hard in the air out to center field. Racing back is Kadri. That's over his head. And 2 runs will come home to score for Milford. Here's Rebello crossing home plate. Ambrosoni right behind. Aiden Wild's going to get waved around third base. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's going to be close. Wild slides in and he's safe with a 3-run inside the park home run that immediately gives Milford the lead at 3-2. Wild hitting that ball hard to straightaway center field. Owen Kadri in a full sprint going back after it, but he could not make the catch. And anytime a ball gets that deep in center field, an inside the park home run is on the table. Aiden Wild using his speed. It was a close play at the plate. A better throw might have had Wild, but the throw tailed just a bit up the third base side, and Wild was able to slide in head first to complete the 3-run inside the park home run. And on one swing, Milford is able to take the lead. Sam Parker now up with the bases clear. And it's a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, if you're going to hit a home run at Pheno Field, that is usually the way it happens. Not many travel beyond the fence here at Pheno. As Connors pours in a called strike to bring the count to 2-1 against Parker. The next pitch is fought off foul off to the left and out of play. Parker ended up going hitless in the game yesterday at North County. He did reach on a walk. But with a batting average over the 500 mark during the high school year for Hopedale, I can't imagine there were too many offers mixed in there. So it's only a matter of time before Parker makes his presence known in this Milford lineup. It's now a full count to the slugging first baseman, and now the payoff pitch is a hard shot out to right field. That's down for a base hit. So right on cue, there is the first hit in the Legion career for Sam Parker. And there are still no outs in this bottom of the first inning. As Milford will now send Alex Reynolds to the dish. Reynolds was absolutely locked in the game yesterday. Before he comes to the plate, some words exchanged between head coach Ken McDonald and his starting pitcher. Reynolds yesterday reached base in all 5 of his plate appearances. He walked twice, singled, doubled, drove in a run, and was also hit by a pitch. And now sees his first pitch against Connors, and that is in for a called strike 1. Parker leads away off of first base, and the pitch is hit on the ground towards third. Waiting for it is Courtright. Fires to second to get the out there. The throw to first base is in and out of the glove of Choate. Reynolds safe at first. Northborough unable to pull off the double play. They do cut down the lead runner. So Parker heads back to the dugout. Reynolds safe on the fielder's choice. So Reynolds replaces Parker on the base paths. That is just the first out in this bottom of the first inning, and now the number 6 hitter Tyler Almeida will dig in. He swings away at the first pitch, pops it up foul, over and out of play off to the left side. Tyler Almeida, the former Blackstone Valley Tech Beaver, now a Milford Scarlet Hawk, and in his second year with Post 59. A 1 ball, 1 strike count now on Almeida. Big lead at first base for Reynolds. And now Connors will throw over in that direction, and Reynolds is safe with a head first slide. Tyler Almeida really showed off his versatility to this team in his first year. Was used primarily as a catcher early in the season, but Milford ended up needing some extra depth in the middle infield late in the year, and he was able to fill that position. Now sends a ball out to right field, down for a base hit. Reynolds, with good recognition that that ball was going to drop, was able to hustle around the bases. He goes first to third. Got a great jump on the contact by Almeida.
Now batting, number 12, the shortstop, Matt Shager.
So runners at the corners now for Post 59, and a chance for Matt Shaver, who had an excellent day at the plate yesterday. Like Reynolds, reached base every time he came to the plate. Starts off looking at a called strike 1. 3 walks in the game for Shaver yesterday, but in the late innings came through with a single and then a 2-run double. A 2-run double ended up capping off the scoring for Milford, driving in runs 12 and 13 on the day. Next pitch in is fouled away. And an 0-2 count on Matt Shaver. Back-to-back Scarlet Hawks batting in this post-59 lineup in Almeida and Shaver. Here's the 0-2 with Almeida taking off at first, and Shaver spoils it foul. We will not have any Red Sox updates to give you as this game progresses tonight. The Red Sox once again operating out on the West Coast. A nice 2-1 win for Boston last night against Seattle. David Price picking up the victory, a home run for Xander Bogaerts. They'll play game 2 of the series later on tonight as Matt Shaver takes a called strike 3, down looking. First strikeout in the game for Dylan Connors. The runners hold at first and third. And now the number 8 hitter, Jacob Beeter, steps in. Beeter did not start in the lineup yesterday, but eventually came in a pinch hitting role. Took 2 at-bats in the game, went 1 for 2. And that included an RBI double. Beeter in his second year with post-59. Saw limited action in his first year last summer. About to see a 1-1 pitch, and he pops it up over towards the left side. Step or two onto the outfield grass for the shortstop, Sam Forbush. He makes the catch for the out that ends the inning, but Aiden Wild on a 3-run inside the park home run swings the lead in Milford's favor. Post-59 now ahead of Northborough by a score of 3-2 as we bring you coverage of Milford Legion baseball here on MyFM 101.3. Both teams able to put up runs in the first inning. Milford leading Northborough by a score of 3-2. Jonathan Rice back out on the mound after an up and down first inning, allowed a couple of hits. Also committed an error that led to the first run scoring. So each team scoring an unearned run in the first inning. Northborough also with an error in the bottom half of the first inning on a play at first base. Northborough will send up their number 7 hitter, Ryan Courtright, to start off the top of the second inning. Left-handed bat. And the first toss in from the lefty, Rice, buzzes Courtright off the plate for ball 1. And now the 1-0 pitch is a swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch for Jonathan Rice that stayed high. Courtright with the uppercut swing, but could not make contact. Now the 1-1 is a swing and a miss. Shadows now spilling across the middle of the infield. The pitcher's mound in shadow, home plate still in the sunshine as the pitch goes over the head of Courtright. You'll see that every now and then out of Jonathan Rice. He has a good live fastball, but sometimes cannot quite control where it's going. And now the next pitch misses high for ball 3, so now a full count. Bit of a hesitation from Rice, now ready with the 3-2, and that's in for strike 3. So Rice wins the battle to get his second strikeout. And with the bases empty now and 1 down, that brings up the right fielder, Ben Poon. Back-to-back left-handed batters to open up this second inning. A lot of lefties in this Northborough lineup. The first pitch misses outside for ball 1. A festive atmosphere here at Pheno Field. The stands continuing to fill up here in these early innings. A lot of children on hand for the game. As Poon pops this ball up on the left side of the infield, shortstop gives way to third base as Aiden Wild makes the play.
batting number 10.
So it's 2 up and 2 down
Owen.
in this inning. Rice looking for a shutdown frame after his offense came back to take the lead. And Northborough brings up their number 9 hitter, Owen Kadri. Playing center field tonight. And takes the first pitch for ball 1. The 1-0 will cross over the outside corner for a called strike. A little bit more on that Red Sox game tonight. First pitch once again at 10:10. Your pitching matchup will feature Rick Porcello for the Sox and James Paxton for the Seattle Mariners. Surprising Seattle team off to a very good start. There's been some surprises in the Major League Baseball standings. Seattle just a half game behind the Houston Astros for first place in the AL West. So a good test for the Sox. And a 1-2 pitch now into the number 9 hitter, Owen Kadri. Misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on the hitter, with the bases empty and 2 outs in the top of the second. Back into the windup, and the 2-2 pitch is sent foul off to the right, and that will drift again off towards the Fino Field concession stand. So it stays a 2-2 count. Rice looking for a pitch to get past the bat of Kadri. Comes back to the plate and misses low and inside. And another full count. So not a low pitch count inning here for Rice, but still a chance to set him down 1-2-3, but instead misses with ball 4. He ends up walking the number 9 hitter. The first walk of the game for Rice.
Number 17, Nate Anderson.
And a base runner now ahead of Nate Anderson, the leadoff batter, taking his second swings of the game. Grounded out to shortstop to open up the ball game. Swinging at the first pitch. Here he holds up on the first pitch from Rice and takes it on the outside corner for strike 1. Rice to the plate, misses outside. Hasn't been missing by much, but has not gotten a consistent feel for that outside part of the plate to these right-handed batters. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that will drop in for a called strike 2. So another 2-strike count. Can Rice put him away? Instead, we'll see a pickoff throw over to first base. Not much of a lead for Kadri. He was able to get back standing. Rice now accepting the sign from Almeida, and his pitch. That misses low and outside for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner aboard at first base. The runner goes, and the pitch misses for ball 3, and Almeida had some trouble getting a handle on the baseball, so no throw down to second base. A steal for Kadri. And now a chance for Northborough to make some 2-out noise, a runner in scoring position. And a 3-2 pitch coming up. Here it is, and it misses for ball 4. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs in the inning, and Jonathan Rice now has pitched his way into a jam, and this will bring a visit from head coach Steve DeVito. So while we have a quick break in the action, we want to let you know, if you need a recap of tonight's game or you're wondering who the player of the game was, if you missed our coverage of Legion Baseball, If you want to find out when Post 59 plays next, you can text the word Legion to our new MyFM text line. That's 508-473-MyFM, 508-473-6936. You can find out all of those details. The MyFM text line is brought to you by the Dean College School of Continuing Studies. So now that gives Sam Forbush a chance to take an at-bat in the second inning. He starts off looking at strike one. And now the next pitch, that one misses inside, ended up in the dirt, blocked by Almeida. One ball and one strike, the count. Runners leading at first and second base for Northborough. Here's the pitch, and it's hit on the ground to the right side. A diving attempt for Brunt, but it gets under his glove. Around from third base, and crossing the plate with the third Northborough run of the day is Owen Kadri. Nate Anderson able to go first to third on a well-placed ground ball single by Sam Forbush, and that will tie the game up at 3. Chris Brunt had to go far to his right, but he actually did make up the ground. The ball traveled underneath Brunt's body as he went into a dive to try to knock the ball down. So just didn't quite time the dive correctly. That allowed the ball to make its way through for a single and driving the tying run of the game. So Northborough, after quickly getting 2 outs in this inning on the strikeout and the pop-out, able to work back-to-back walks, and then ground ball single makes it 3-3, and now a single through the left side of the infield will bring Nate Anderson to the plate. He'll come in from third base to score back-to-back RBI base hits, first from Forbush, now from Dylan Connors, who now drives in his second run of the game. And it's Northborough who's able to jump back on top by a score of 4-3. So a lot of 2-out damage being done here against Jonathan Rice. 4 straight batters reaching base, a pair of walks, and now a pair of singles. Two on now ahead of the cleanup hitter, Max Morhart. He swings at the first pitch and drives it in the air out to left field. Over goes Beater, and he is able to make the catch for the out that ends the inning. But again, 2-out damage created by Northborough. They bring in 2 more runs to take a 4-3 lead over Milford Post 59 here on your home for Milford Legion Baseball, MyFM 101.3. A pair of 2-out RBI singles for Northborough Post 234 against Jonathan Rice in the top of the second inning. And the lead swings back into Northborough's favor, so it's been back and forth here through these early innings. Milford sending batters 9, 1, and 2 to the plate against Dylan Connors. Chris Brunt opens up the inning with a strike. Now takes the pitch high, evening the count at 1-1. Brunt batting out of the number 9 spot for the second straight game. Picked up a 2-run double in the game yesterday. Milford with 4 RBI doubles against North County yesterday. Chris Brunt here pops one up in foul territory behind first base. And Jack Choate able to make the play. 1 up and 1 down.
Now batting, number 8, the center fielder.
And second time now through the Post 59 lineup. Sean Rebello will stand in. Sean reached on an error by Choate at first base in the bottom of the first inning and came around to score as part of that 3-run inside the park homer for Aiden Wild. A 1-ball, no strike count, and the next pitch is a fastball on the outside edge for a called strike. The Full defensive alignment for Northborough. Nate Anderson behind the plate, Drew Courtright at third, Sam Forbush at short, Ryan Courtright at second, and Jack Choate at first. Left to right in the outfield, Max Morhart, Owen Kadri, and Ben Poon. 2 balls and a strike now on Rebello. As once again, Connors works at a brisk pace, but leaves one outside and now has fallen behind Rebello by a count of 3-1. Not the guy you want to put on the base paths. 3-1 pitch is a line drive back up the middle, and that is going to drop in for a base hit. On base for the second time. It's his 3rd hit now on the young season.
The right fielder, number 20, Tommy Ambrosoni.
One out base runner as Ambrosoni stands in for the second time this evening. Walked in the first. Takes a pitch high for ball 1. Milford now with 4 hits overall in the game, each team with 4 hits. And a called strike into Ambrosoni will even up the count. And probably not a question of if Rebello will run, it's a question of when, and it's right on this pitch. And he will make it to second base, well ahead of the throw of Nate Anderson. And it looks as though the 3rd-year Legion veteran has the green light on the bases to go anytime he thinks he has a shot at it. Now 5 steals through 2 games, impressive out of Rebello. In scoring position as the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike on Ambrosoni. And the pitch. That's high for ball 4, so a second walk tonight for Ambrosoni. And that plate discipline may very well be why Coach DeVito has penciled him into that number 2 spot through these first 2 games. 2 runners on once again for Aiden Wild. And for Aiden, relishing the opportunity to bat with runners on base, serving as the captain for a very young and inexperienced Milford High School team this year. The high school squad doing a lot of things well this season behind their first-year head coach, Alex Dion, but the offense at times struggled. And Wild, despite a batting average in excess of 500, did not have a whole lot of RBI opportunities. Was able to drive in 3 runs in that bottom of the first inning, driving one out to deep center field for a 3-run inside the park homer. Takes the first pitch for strike 1 against Connors, who's ready with another. And it's a line drive once again back up the middle. This will drop in for a base hit. They will wave Sean Rebello around from second base. Now a late stop sign for Coach DeVito. He'll send Rebello back to third base, not wanting to make a potential out at the plate. That one dropped in front of Owen Kadri. He was able to get the ball back in quickly. Coach DeVito was initially waving Rebello around, but then issued the stop sign. So the bases are loaded after the second hit of the game for Aiden Wild. And a big opportunity for Sam Parker. Left-handed hitter against the right-handed pitcher, Dylan Connors, once again in a jam. Here's his pitch. And it's in for a called strike. Nice pitch from Connors, burying it on the inside part of the plate against the lefty. Back to the set. And the 0-1 now puts it on the outside corner for a called strike 2. Connors jumping ahead. That was 0-2 pitch. Sends it high for ball 1, trying to change the eye level of Parker. Inside then, outside then up, but just missing with that last pitch to bring the count to 1-2. Now the next one on the way, an off-speed pitch that's sent out to shallow left center field, but room for Morehart to make the catch. Rebello will tag at third base. Here comes the throw into the plate. It's not in time. Rebello scores on the sac fly for Parker. And once again, the game is knotted up, now at 4-4. The trail runners both holding, so Ambrosoni remains at second base with Wild at first, 2 outs. And to the plate comes Alex Reynolds. Awaiting the first pitch. Here it comes. And it's high for a ball. Reynolds reached on a fielder's choice last inning. So it's been all offense here through the early innings, and Northborough already with a pitcher warming up in their bullpen. Already about 46 minutes deep into this game to get through an inning and 2/3. Three balls and no strikes now, the count on Reynolds. Set and the pitch. Reynolds was taking all the way, takes it for a strike. Blankets and sweatshirts starting to come out here at Pheno with the sun just about set. Here's a 3-1 pitch now, and that is up and away for ball 4. And Connors wanted no part of Alex Reynolds. Pitching very carefully in that at bat, sends him down to first base to once again load the bases ahead of Tyler Almeida. Connors with a peek into his dugout to see if he would be the pitcher to commence this at bat. Indeed he will. And the first one into Almeida is a called strike 1. Tyler singled in his first at bat. The 7th Milford batter to come to the plate, as the infield umpire is going to call a balk on Dylan Connors, and that will send everyone up a base, and that means in from third base to score comes Ambrosoni, and the balk allows Milford to jump back on top 5-4. And now the pitch will hit Almeida. Might have gotten him off the foot. He heads down to first base.
Now batting for Milford, number 12, the shortstop, Matt.
So a sac fly and a balk allow Milford to take the lead once again. The bases are loaded up for Matt Shaver, who sends one slowly on the ground to third base. Drew Courtright has it, fires across the diamond in time to get Shaver at first base to end the inning. So Milford does leave the bases loaded, but they're able to supply 2 more runs to once again take a lead. Back and forth we go through these early innings. It's now Milford 5 and Northborough 4 here on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on MyFM 101.3. Whose pitching staff will be able to settle down in this game first? So far, it's been the offenses that have dictated things. 5 runs on 5 hits now for Milford, 4 runs on 4 hits for Northborough. Post 234 coming to the plate for the top half of the 3rd inning. They will send up Jack Choate, Drew Courtright, and Ryan Courtright against Jonathan Rice. Northborough continues to see action warm up in their bullpen. Milford has not warmed up any relievers to this point. As Jonathan Rice sends the first pitch in on the inside part of the plate for a called strike against Jack Choate, who drove in a run with a single in the first inning. Now a wave and a miss. Pitch that fooled him badly. No balls and 2 strikes, the count to the left-handed batter. The next pitch comes up and in under the chin of the tall lefty Jack Choate. Well in excess of 6 feet. Don't have the exact height dimensions for Choate, but look of a big leaguer out there. Here he swings and misses. The ball briefly gets away from Almeida, but he's able to complete the throw to first base as Choate goes down on strikes. 3 Ks so far in the game now for Jonathan Rice. Drew Courtright now stands in. He was a strikeout victim in the first inning. And the first pitch is rocketed foul down the third base line. Coach McDonald for Northborough having to jump out of the way of that one. That came at him with some good velocity. 0-1 the count. Rice back into his windup. The pitch is a swing and a miss for strike 2. Adelaide action darting out of the strike zone. 0-2 the count, and the pitch hit down the third base line. That's a fair ball past the reach of Wild. Now down into the corner. Around first base comes Courtright digging for second as Jacob Beater has some tough time collecting that ball in foul territory, so it will be a double for Drew Courtright.
Number 22, Ryan.
Hit number 5 in the game now for Northborough. The man in scoring position again. It's been a familiar refrain. As now Ryan Courtright takes one on the outside part of the plate. That was framed well by Tyler Almeida. He might have bought his pitcher a strike. Second base. Rice waits, now comes to the plate. And a pitch misses for ball 1. Drew Courtright out to a sizable lead at second base. The next pitch is in for a called strike 3. That bent back towards the plate. You could see Ryan Courtright flinching as that pitch initially looked like it was coming right at him, but then late movement brought it back to the outside corner, and Courtright down looking. So the second strikeout in the inning for Jonathan Rice with the double wedged in between, so the runner stays in scoring position now for the number 8 hitter Ben Poon, who sends it out to left field for a base hit. Around from third base comes Courtright. Beater's throw comes into third base as Courtright scores. And another 2-out RBI for Northborough, as once again we see our third tie through these early innings. It is now 5-5. Ben Poon first pitch swinging, drove it out into left field. Jacob Beater playing relatively deep out there in left field, so he had no chance to send a throw into the plate, sent it into the relay man, Aiden Wild at third base, and just held on to it. And now ball 1 issued high to Owen Kadri, who walked and stole a base in the second inning, was eventually stranded at second. And now a hard hit ball out into left center field. A long run for Rebello. He dives, but he can't get it. Backed up by Jacob Beater. Around from first base comes Ben Poon. He will score on an RBI double for Owen Kadri out of the number 9 spot. That ball was stung out into left center field. Rebello did everything he could do, a full race into the gap. He dove for it. very nearly made the catch, but could not hang on, and an RBI double, the second double in the inning for Northborough. And so with each half inning has come a lead change. Now a 6-5 Northborough lead. And this might finally get some activity loosening for Milford, as Jonathan Rice has just not had it here in these early innings. Looks like Justin Metcalf will make his way out to the bullpen as Nate Anderson sends one on the ground to second base, fielded by Chris Brunt. He throws to first base to get the final out of the inning. But 3 more hits tacked on for Northborough, a pair of doubles. They bring in 2 more runs, and they take a 6-5 lead. It's Northborough over Milford as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning next here on your home for Milford Legion Baseball, My FM 101.3. No shortage of offense on either side. Now 6 runs on 7 hits for Northborough post 234. You'll have to wonder if Jonathan Rice will come back out for a 4th inning. Justin Metcalf continues to warm up in the Milford bullpen. But several hard hit balls against Rice in that 3rd inning. Doubles from Drew Courtwright and Owen Caudry. A couple more runs scored to give Northborough the lead. So with each half inning has come a lead change, 2-0. After a half an inning for Northborough, Milford was able to pull ahead 3-2. Northborough went back ahead 4-3 after the top of the 2nd, only to see Milford go back on top 5-4. And now a 6-5 Northborough lead as Milford comes to the plate in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It will be Jacob Beater, Chris Brunt, and Sean Rebello. And Dylan Connors is back out there on the hill. I beg your pardon. A new pitcher on for Northborough as Ben Poon takes over, so he comes in from right field to take over on the pitcher's mound. A similar throwing style, but it is Poon out there. We'll try to get a uniform number out there in right field to see the corresponding change, so Connors only lasts the first 2. A called strike into Jacob Beater. The count 2 balls and a strike. Jacob 0 for 1. Popped out to shortstop his first time up. And now sends a fly ball out into left field, but right in the direction of Max Morehart, who makes the catch. 1 up and 1 down in the inning, and now Chris Brunt to the plate.
Number 1, second baseman, Chris Brunt.
So Connors in 2 innings of work allowed 5 runs on 5 hits. He walked 3 batters and struck out 1. Not a pitching clinic on either side here in this Pheno Field home opener. 1 ball, no strike count on Chris Brunt, who now takes a breaking ball that eventually drops down on the inside part of the plate. That looked a little bit like the Ephus pitch out of Ben Poon. Now the 1-1, that misses outside. There's a healthy contingent of Northborough fans in the house here tonight. Traveling well, positioning themselves right here behind the plate, and they've seen their offense generate some runs here against Milford, currently with a 1-run lead. But still a very long way to go, only in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. 3-1 count now on Brunt with Rebello on deck. Here's the pitch, and that one fouled away. Three balls and 2 strikes, the count. Ben Poon showing an interesting array of pitches here since he's come into the game. Let's see what he throws here on the 3-2 count. Breaking ball that misses high for ball 4, so he loses the number 9 man.
Now batting for Milford, number 8, the center fielder.
So Milford with the tying run at first base with 1 out. Sean Rebello at the plate. He's been on base twice. singled in his last at bat, then stole second base and eventually came around to score. Ben Poon trying to keep Chris Brunt close at first base. Now comes to the plate and misses high for ball one. Rebello has scored 2 runs so far through the first 2 innings. And waves and misses. So a similar style to what we saw out of Alex Gunfriday yesterday against North County. A lot of off-speed pitches for Poon, keeping Milford off balance. Sean Rebello fouls that one off into the stands just to the left of the first base dugout. We almost saw a nice catch from the fans, but the gentleman unable to hold on, so we won't see our diamond play of the game in the stands, at least not quite yet here tonight. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Rebello trying to stay back on it. Again, he fights it off foul. This one takes a hop off the roof of the first base dugout. One and 2 on Rebello. And another pickoff check over at first base. The leads have not been particularly large for Chris Brunt. He holds as the ball is lined over the reach of the second baseman, Courtright. Another base hit for Sean Rebello, who is now 2 for 3. And it's runners at first and second for Tommy Ambrosoni. And you have to think that Ben Poon is going to go right after Ambrosoni. He doesn't want to give Aiden Wild a chance with multiple runners on. But Ambrosoni's been very patient so far tonight. He's walked twice, and both times that he's reached, he's come in to score. Shows bunt here, drops a nice one down the third base line. The pitcher fields, but nobody covers the first base bag, and Ambrosoni will be safe. A breakdown on the right side of the infield. And unbelievable that no one was able to get over there as the ball was bunted down the third base line, but neither second baseman nor first baseman broke for the first base bag, so an easy chance for Ambrosoni to reach. Will be credited with a bunt base hit. And so they are loaded up for Aiden Wild. And the first pitch in for a strike. Only 1 out in the inning. Wild is 2 for 2 with a 3-run homer and a single. And now watches one miss outside and low, evening the count at 1. Tricky situation for Ben Poon out of the bullpen. Here is his 1-1 pitch. Wild waits on it and hits it down the left field line, but that's a foul ball. And so Poon able to get ahead of Wild by a count of 1-2. The righty digs back in at the plate. Levels the bat over the shoulder, and now here is the pitch. And Wild fights it off foul. The now 4-year Milford Legion veteran in a good spot here with the bases full of post 59 runners. Here's another 1-2 pitch, and Wild sends it down the third base line. This time it's a fair ball. It will roll all the way down into the corner. Brunt comes around to score. Here's Rebello around from third base. They'll wave Ambrosoni to the plate. He will score as Aiden Wild clears the bases with a 3-run double. And that will allow post 59 to take an 8-6 lead.
Now batting for Milford, number 16, the
So a home run, a single, and now a double. And 6 runs batted in for Aiden Wild. So we might already have a pretty good idea of who our Pepperoncini's player of the game might be tonight. But again, we're still only in the 3rd inning. Now Sam Parker at the plate, swings at the first pitch and floats it in the air out to center field. The catch is made out there by Owen Kadri. So Parker retired for out number 2.
Now batting number 2, the designated hitter, Alex Reynolds.
So Ben Poon not faring any better than Dylan Connors. Northborough offense continues to fight to take the lead, only to see Milford wrestle it right back, now 8-6. This is the biggest lead Milford has had. So 13 runs in the game yesterday for Milford, now already up to 8 here this evening. Alex Reynolds up with 2 outs and the runner at second base. The count now at a ball and a strike. Fans of the game here tonight who had late dinner reservations might want to make a change. Won't be going anywhere anytime soon, as this ball is popped up foul over the backstop and out of play. Aiden Wild will step back out to a lead at second base. A 2-ball, 1-strike count on Alex Reynolds. The pitch swung on and missed. So 2-2 the count with 2 down. Reynolds looking for his first hit, though he has been on base twice. Here's the next offering, and Reynolds loops it foul, and that will make its way just over the backstop. And the race is on for a couple of young fans to pick up the loose ball. Stays a 2-2 count. You can see these Milford batters trying to adjust to stay back on what has been mostly off-speed pitches out of Ben Poon since coming into the game here in the 3rd. About to send in another 2-2 pitch and misses outside. Wild was off with the throw. He's able to get in with a feet-first slide. The ball ricocheted away from third baseman Drew Courtright, but not far enough for Wild to think about advancing any further. So there's a stolen base for Wild. He had one in the game yesterday as well. And a 3-2 pitch upcoming to Reynolds. And he sends it out to right field. That's going to drop in for a base hit, and Wild will trot across home plate with the 9th Milford run. An RBI single for Alex Reynolds. And now a 9-6 lead for Milford post 59. Four hits now in this inning, 9 hits in all in the game. And another conference on the pitcher's mound between head coach Ken McDonald and his reliever Ben Poon, who has faced 7 batters now in this bottom of the 3rd inning. And will now face the left-handed swinging Tyler Almeida.
Tyler Almeida.
Tyler singled in the 1st inning, was hit by a pitch his last time up. A lot of at-bats for these Milford hitters through 3 innings. Now a 1-0 pitch, and it's hit in the air. in foul ground behind third base. A long run for Drew Courtright to the warning track. It stays on the field of play, and Courtright is able to make the catch. And that will retire the side. But Milford able to retake the lead. Now a 9-6 advantage for Post 59 over Northborough. Will we see some effective pitching in the next inning? We will find out when we come back next here on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on MyFM 101.3. Milford will see a new pitcher come to the mound here for the top half of the fourth inning. Jonathan Rice done after 3 innings. And making his Post 59 debut on the mound now in relief is Justin Metcalf, product of Blackstone Valley Tech, resident of Mendon, Massachusetts. The right-hander out there now to face the Northborough 2, 3, and 4 hitters. And the first pitch in misses high for ball 1. Got a little bit of a scouting report on Justin Metcalf from Coach DeVito before the game. He expected to use Metcalf eventually out of the bullpen here tonight. This pitch in for a strike. Classified Metcalf as a bulldog out on the mound. High-end velocity out of Metcalf, said that he can consistently touch over 80 miles an hour. As this pitch is fouled away deep and far down the left field line. The count goes to 1-2 on Sam Furbush. Furbush reached on an error and scored in the first inning. Singled to drive in a run in the second, but here will chase an outside pitch down on strikes. So Metcalf able to strike out the first batter he faces. And that will now bring up Dylan Connors. So Connors still in the game. That answers the question of who took over in right field. So it ended up being a straight swap between Ben Poon and Dylan Connors. Certainly no reason to take Connors' bat out of the lineup. He struggled making the start on the mound in this game, but at the plate he's gone 2 for 2 with a pair of RBI singles. He's also scored a run. Down on the count, 0-1, and now the pitch grounded foul wide of third base. We'll try to update you on the schedule of games from around Zone 4 for tonight before the end of this inning. But first, an 0-2 pitch into Dylan Connors. Here it comes. And it's lined back up the middle. Will it hang up for Rebello? No, he'll have to play it on a hop. And so Connors keeps it going at the plate. He's now 3 for 3.
Now batting, number 14.
All the other games scheduled for tonight around Zone 4 were all 5:30 starts, with the exception of this game and one other. So you can make that an even split of 5:30 and 7 o'clock games. We'll start to let you know those. First, a swing and a miss on a fastball that gets past the bat of Max Morehart. First, those 5:30 games, Sturbridge hosting Wachusett. North County right back in action tonight at home against Eastside. And then the other 7 o'clock game, Grafton Hill hosting Shrewsbury. As Metcalf sends one on the outside part of the plate for a called strike 2. There's one other game originally scheduled for tonight, Leominster hosting Maine South, but Leominster has not yet gotten their season started, as their players are still involved in the MIAA tournament. The pitch misses outside. The throw down to second base from Almeida is right on the money. It was there waiting for Dylan Connors. Gunned down at second base, and Almeida catches him stealing. So Milford has shown some excellent throws from behind the plate in the last 2 days. Alex Reynolds was the starting catcher yesterday, ended up getting a pickoff. Sending a quick snap throw to first base that caught a runner leaning. Now it's Almeida with the caught stealing down to second base. So the bases are now clear with 2 outs and an 0-2 count on Max Morehart, who is 0 for 2 so far. Metcalf hoping for a clean inning. Here's his next pitch. And it's a cue shot hit foul just past the Milford dugout. Still no balls and 2 strikes. The base is empty with 2 outs. The windup and the pitch. And it's floated back up the middle. And down for a base hit. Again, just beyond the reach of Sean Rebello, who plays it on a single bounce before sending the toss back in. So the caught stealing helps Milford's cause. Two more hits in this inning for Northborough brings their tally up to 9. So both teams now even in the hit column, 9 apiece. Another trip to the plate for Jack Choate, who was off balance on the swing for strike 1. Choate 1 for 2. The 0-1 pitch is sent foul. Sam Forbush struck out to open this inning. Dylan Connors with a single, but was then caught trying to steal second base. Max Morehart following up with a single. He is at first. And an 0-2 pitch upcoming to Jack Choate. And it's in for a called strike 3. 2 Ks in the inning for Metcalf, and for the first time all game, we see a half an inning with no runs allowed. It remains a 9-6 lead for Milford over Northborough. On to the home half of the 4th inning we go next here on My FM 101.3.
Number 10, Owen.
Back to the plate comes the post 59 offense in the home half of the 4th. Matt Shaver, Jacob Beater, and Chris Brunt, batters 7, 8, and 9.
Number 12, the shortstop, Matt.
And another inning, and it looks like we'll see another new arm on the mound for Northborough as Owen Kadri comes in from center field to take over. Matt Shaver now ready in the right side batter's box. And Kadri's first pitch is a fastball, good for strike 1. So Ben Poon in an inning of relief allowed 4 runs on 4 hits. And now a hard shot to first base that is snagged by Jack Choate. Using that height to his advantage as he lunged to his right and was able to haul in that shot from Shaver for out number 1.
Number 3, the left fielder, Jacob.
And so it appears that Ben Poon has resumed his former position in right field, with Dylan Connors now sliding to center. And now strike 1 fired in to Jacob Beater. Beater has popped out to short and flown out to left so far tonight, 0 for 2. Takes one too far inside for a ball. The windup and the pitch, and Beater sends it on the ground foul right over to the third base dugout. It's grabbed by Chris Lyons on the bench here tonight for Northborough. Chris Lyons pitched the season opener for post 234, pitched very effectively. As a matter of fact, struck out 10 batters in a complete game effort. In a game Northborough won over Cherry Valley by a score of 5-1. Two balls and 1 strike, the count. The pitch is lined out into left field, in for a base hit. So Beater with his first hit tonight.
Number 1, the second baseman.
At first base now for Chris Brunt. Brunt got that 4-run rally started last inning with a 1-out walk. Came around to score on that bases clearing triple for Aiden Wild. The next time Aiden Wild comes to the plate, he will have a chance at the cycle if he can come through with a triple. A 1-0 pitch to Brunt, drops in the dirt, kicks away from the catcher, and Jacob Beater will move on to second base. Two balls and no strikes to the product out of Hopedale, Chris Brunt. Kadri to the set, a look down to second base, and now the pitch. Fastball misses outside. 3 balls and no strikes. This game about to reach the 90-minute mark with no outs in the bottom of the 4th. As the pitch misses low for ball 4, Brunt walks for the second time, this time on 4 straight pitches.
Now batting number 8, center fielder, Sean Rebello.
So the bottom of the order bats getting on, and now a 4th plate appearance in 4 innings for Sean Rebello. Swings at the first pitch, hits it to the opposite field, down for a base hit. Beater, a hard turn around third base, but he will be held there. Sean Rebello now 3 for 4.
Now batting number 20, the right
Was not waiting around, had a pitch he could handle, lined it to the opposite field for a base hit. And once again, post 59 will have the bases loaded. Tommy Ambrosoni at the plate, who's had a perfect on-base day so far. Swings at the first pitch here and grounds it to first base. A tough play for Jack Chodes. He was handcuffed a bit on the bounce, ended up sending the throw to second base. Not a wise play as he could not get it there in time. Everybody safe, and a run scores as Milford will take a 10-6 lead.
number 11, the third baseman.
After the bobble, Choate would have been best served taking the couple of steps over to first base to make sure he could get an out. Instead threw down to second. And now man at bat for Aiden Wild once again with the bases loaded. Wild working on a 6 RBI day so far. Plenty of ducks on the pond here again in this at bat in the 4th inning. And Wild now will hit it on the ground towards shortstop. It kicks off the heel of the glove of Sam Forbush. No play anywhere as Brunt comes in to score. So that will go as an E6.
Now batting number 16.
So Beater scoring
Sam
on that
Parker.
tough play at first base for Choate. Now it's Brunt who crosses the plate on the error by Forbush. And you can make it an 11-6 advantage for post 59. Taking it 1 base at a time. Another bases loaded at bat now for Sam Parker, who takes a look at strike 1. And now Parker reaching out for that one, poking it foul. A quick 0-2 count on Sam Parker. The pitch misses high. Parker singled in the 1st inning, drove in a run with a sac fly in the 2nd, and flew out to center field in the 3rd. His top 4 batters in the lineup have seen plenty of action. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's upstairs. Two balls and 2 strikes. The next pitch is a towering fly ball out to shallow center field. It looks like the second baseman will take charge, but the ball drifts on him. He cannot make the play. Everyone will advance a base as Sean Rebello will cross the plate. And things coming apart at the seams for Northborough here in the 4th inning as Milford now will take a 12-6 advantage.
Now batting number 2.
That ball was hit a mile high. Ryan Courtright looked to have it under control, but in the end had to lunge out towards center field, could not make the play. And all the runners had to hang up, assuming that ball would be caught, but no one ended up covering either the second or third base bag, so that allowed all of the Milford runners to advance safely. Rebello to the plate, Ambrosoni to third, Wild down to second, and Sam Parker to first on the third Northborough error of this inning. You go back to that play on the ball hit by Ambrosoni. Imagining the call will end up going in the books as a fielder's choice and an E3 on the throw to second base. And then the error at shortstop on the ball hit by Aiden Wild. Now an error on second baseman Ryan Courtright, unable to hang on to that pop-up. Milford now with a 6-run lead as Alex Reynolds comes to the plate and looks at ball one. Reynolds, the 8th batter to come to the plate in the bottom of the 4th. Just one out in the inning. And a 2-ball, no-strike count on Reynolds with nowhere to put him. Can make that a 1-ball, 1-strike count as Reynolds now will float it foul over the backstop. It'll make its way over the press box and out of play. Reynolds drove in a run with a single his last time at the plate. Also reached on a walk and a fielder's choice earlier in the game. Here's the 1-2. And so that is in for a called strike two. So the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now the 2-2 fought off out into left center field. And that's going to drop in for a base hit. And across the plate, with yet another Milford run, comes Tommy Ambrosoni. That ball in the Bermuda Triangle out there between Max Morehart, Dylan Connors, and Sam Forbush. Again, not a hard hit ball from Milford, but they place it in the right spot. So another RBI single on the day for Reynolds. The carousel continues. The base is loaded for Tyler Almeida. The bullpen is quiet at the moment for post 234, already utilizing their 3rd pitcher of the day. And Kadri misses outside with ball 2 to Almeida. The 9th batter to come to the plate in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch misses inside. It is now a 13-6 lead for post 59, so they score 13 runs for their 2nd straight game. The next pitch is hit on the ground. Another chance for the first baseman, who fields and fires wildly to the plate. The ball gets away from the catcher, and 2 runs will score as both Wild and Parker are able to come home on the 4th error of the inning for Northborough. An errant throw to the plate for Jack Choate. And it is now a 15-6 post 59 lead. And when all was said and done, Alex Reynolds was able to advance to 3rd. Tyler Almeida down to 2nd base. And no end in sight in this bottom of the 4th inning, as the man who started it now comes up for a 2nd time, Matt Shaver, who probably hit the hardest ball in this inning and ended up lining out to first base. Now a waving swing and a miss as the count goes to 1-1. We do have one game to update you on from around Zone 4. We'll do it after this next pitch. If you like offense, you've liked this game, you'd also like The game that took place between Sturbridge and Wachusett, an absolute slugfest there. Sturbridge finally able to win its first game of the season, winning it 14-12 over Wachusett. Meanwhile, more offense here at Pheno Field as Matt Shaver is able to single out into right field, bringing Alex Reynolds to the plate to make it an even 10-run lead for Post 59. It is 16-6.
Now batting number 3, the left fielder.
So Shaver collects a hit and a run batted in. That's only the second RBI awarded to Milford in this inning, and that'll be the game for Owen Kadri as finally Coach McDonald comes out to make a change. Kadri heads to the dugout, a new arm out to take over as Milford has ballooned the lead out to 16-6. And we'll have more action here in this bottom of the 4th inning when we return next here on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on MyFM 101.3. It's a 7-run inning in the making for Post 59, scoring 7 runs on the benefit of just 4 hits against Owen Kadri. He might have deserved a better fate there in relief as he saw his defense really implode behind him. We've seen 4 Northborough errors in this inning, 2 of them on the first baseman. Also errors at second base and shortstop. Milford now with a 10-run cushion as they have runners at the corners, and Jacob Beater hits one on the ground towards third base, played cleanly by Drew Courtright. He will throw to first base. And the second out is recorded as Beater is out on the 5-3 grounder. Now 1 for 4 on the day. And Chris Brunt now will make his 4th plate appearance. He's walked each of his last 2 times up to the plate. And both times he's reached, he's come around to score. Foul ball on the first pitch of the at-bat brings the count to 0-1. The new pitcher on, by the way, for Northborough is Jack Branson, who now gets a fly ball off the bat of Chris Brunt out into left field. Morehart able to make the catch for the out that finally brings an end to this bottom of the 4th inning, but Milford expands the lead. A 7-run inning allows them to take a 16-6 lead on Northborough Post 234. We will head to the top half of the 5th inning when we return next on our coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on MyFM 101.3. Welcome back once again to our coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on MyFM 101.3. I should also point out that Milford TV is in the house here tonight. Executive Director Rob O'Keefe and the crew covering the game. So you'll be able to see this game in its entirety coming up on Milford TV within the next couple of days. It'll also be available on their YouTube page, My Milford TV, of course. When I'm not here on the radio, I'm serving as the News and Sports Director over there at Milford TV. I'm happy to have both crews on hand for the game here tonight. Seeing plenty of offense. Milford up 16-6 as Justin Metcalf resumes pitching duties on the mound in his 2nd inning of relief, and he jumps ahead of the batter 0-2. Drew Courtright, the man at the plate, leading off this top of the 5th inning. 1 defensive change for Milford. Nick Marcolini making his Legion debut, taking over in left field for Jacob Beater. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and unable to hold up on the swing is Courtright. He goes down. That's the 3rd strikeout for Justin Metcalf since coming into the game. And so with 1 out and the base is empty, Ryan Courtright now at the plate, who has struck out twice in the game. Both of those at-bats came against the starter, Jonathan Rice. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. And Courtright in an 0-2 hole. Staring in for the sign is Metcalf, now again to the plate, and a check swing. They refer to the infield umpire. He says that Courtright was able to hold up. So a 1-2 count. And the next pitch swung on and missed. Almeida will have to send the throw down to first base. He gets it there, no problem. Back-to-back Ks for Metcalf. And it's 2 outs and the base is empty now in the top of the 5th inning. The complexion of this game changing in a hurry. It was a constant seesaw battle back and forth through those first 3 innings, but Milford exploding for 11 runs in the 3rd and the 4th. And now a 16-6 advantage. And Northborough looking for something out of Ben Poon if the game is to continue, but he pops it up towards third base. Aiden Wild is underneath. He makes the catch. And it is a 1-2-3 top of the 5th inning. And a 10-run lead for Milford post 59. After the top half of the 5th inning, will bring mercy rules into play for the first time here in this 2018 season. Milford with a mercy rule victory over the previously unbeaten Northborough post 234. Milford wins this game by a final score of 16-6. So Milford will improve to 2-0 on the season. Northborough suffering that first loss. They are now 3-1 overall on the year. Well, a lot to look back on. Offensive fireworks in this Pheno Field home opener. And we'll recap it all for you as part of our Mass Renewables of Bellingham postgame report. That is next. So stay tuned to coverage of Milford Legion baseball here on MyFM 101.3.